Evening, everyone. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. All right, this ran 2 hours ago on the Dave Ramsey show. I want to ask my family to buy me a house. Now, with any other channel, I would think, this can't possibly be the actual topic of the story. But then I realized something, and that is Dave Ramsey. Okay, he doesn't lie in his titles. I would say for the most part, okay, he calls it the way it is. So I'm going to assume that somebody wants their family to buy them a house. Now, before we judge, we got to find out the details, all right? If you are new to this channel, I'd like to welcome you to our Monday evening fireside, imaginary fireside chit chat. We like to sit around, talk about the Dave Ramsey show and see what we can learn from them. And of course, if you have been here before, I am so glad to see you have returned. You are, as you know, family at this point. So please make yourselves comfortable, pour yourself some tea, get yourself a cozy blanket. All right. And let's go ahead and see what we can learn from this. We will try hard not to be triggered, but in case we are, I got my fan here, okay, in case we get a little triggered. All right, folks, let's hear it. I want to ask my family to buy me a house. It ran 2 hours ago today. I'm on the ball. I am on it.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Elizabeth kicks us off in Atlanta, Georgia. Elizabeth,
hello,
how can we help
Elizabeth.
today?
Hey, thank you guys so much for answering.
Absolutely. Well, Austin
Okay.
answered. He just then patched you through to us, so you can thank Austin for that. He's a good man.
Thank you, Austin, and thank you for having me on. So I'm currently a college student, and
She sounds very young. And again, this is called I want to ask my family to buy me a house.
I am getting all of my college paid for by a family member right now, and I'm renting again through that family member. And I'm in school for interior design, and I do want to get into real estate after I graduate. So I'm trying to think of a way that I can get set in the right foot after I graduate, per se. So I would like to propose the idea of buying a house to this family member and then possibly buying it from them after I graduate.
Oh.
And I just want to know if that's a good idea.
Hold on.
Wow, that's a lot to chew on as far as big dollars. So she's a college student getting ready to graduate in interior design. I have a gal pal, one of my best friends in the world, in fact, is an interior designer. She has a degree in interior designing. Of course, I was in the 80s. Okay, and she wants this family member, whomever it may be, why the secret? She wants this family member to basically buy a house for her and she can buy it from them later. So basically what she wants them to do is she wants them to front their money. Guys, this has a lot of forks in the road. She wants them to front their money, pay for the house. But then my question becomes, what if she changes her mind later? They've just bought her a house she doesn't want. The other question that just comes right off the bat is, why should she get a house? We'd all like a house when we graduate. There are people who would give an arm and a leg to have their college education paid for in interior design. And, well, like I said, one of my best friends in the whole entire world is an interior designer. And she's been an interior designer for decades. But I can tell you, interior design is a really tough business to make a lot of money in. Very, very difficult. Unless, of course, you can get someone to buy you a house, pay her for your college education, and maybe pay for your living in between until you hit it big, which could be decades, if ever.
Buy it for you?
They buy it, I live in it until I graduate, and then once I start making a steady income, buy it from them.
Sign me up! Sign me up! Beam me up, Scotty. I've been doing it wrong all these years. Where can I get a relative like that? Where can I get a relative who will front the money? And you're talking for a house. So you're talking in the probably hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, you can't buy a house for 50 grand anymore, right? Sign me up. You know what? I can see myself going to my parents and I'm going, hold on. So I don't want to use the reflection in your mirror. So I can see myself going to my parents and going, Dad, because we don't know who the relative is. Okay. Dad, could you please pay for all of my college education, Mom and Dad? Okay. pay for all of my college education. And while you're at it, I want you to buy me a house, okay? I'm not going to pay for the house right now, but I'll promise to pay you back for it later. You're going to buy me a house. And then whenever my sweet ass is done with school and I've actually got a job that I feel like pays me enough for what I think I'm worth and I can actually start paying you back, then I will slowly pay you back for the house. But until then, Dad, you just hold on to that 30-year mortgage as if it were your own.
That is a tall order. Elizabeth.
It is.
That's an entitled order, Elizabeth. And look at how casually she's saying it. It is. Yes, I know it's a big order, but you're doing it for me, and I'm worth it.
It is, but with the rent I am paying right now.
And the no college education she's having to fund. She's not having to pay for any college education.
Buying a house would be cheaper in the long run.
Wrong answer.
But you're not buying a house. Hold
on. My finger hit the trigger too fast.
on. I'm sorry. I don't mean any harm. So you said it's the same family member. So the same family member that is allowing, like, paying your rent now and paying your way to college. You mean to
wait, they're paying her rent now also? Oh, she just wants to upgrade. They're paying for her college and paying for rent? I thought she was paying for rent. Either way, she wants them to buy her a house.
tell me you're going to go to them and say, hey, why don't you also buy a house for me to live in? And then the assumption is that you'll buy it from them because you just get to decide when they're going to sell their house and who they're going to sell it to.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah, that's right. What happens if the market value is worth more than what little Miss Princess here can pay for it?
This is the proposal.
You have to, if this were a man, she has some real balls to make this proposal.
No.
Why not just you get yourself in a position to buy a house? Why do they have to be involved?
Probably because she was raised in the Amazon era where things are delivered between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. I know because I had my delivery this morning, okay? And she's like, why do I need to wait? Look, I'm not going to slam young people, okay? Because there are some hard-working young people out there, okay, in the 20s and stuff that are, they're killing it and they're doing it on limited resources and little to no help. This gal, she probably does Grubhub deliveries, guaranteed, okay? In her mind, what I'm willing to bet is she's thinking, I've got the college degree. Eventually, I'll get the job. I don't want to wait for the house, so I want my whoever it is to buy the house. This could be mom, dad, sister, brother, grandparents. Something telling me it's not her mom and dad, though. Gut hunch. I'm going to say it's a family member removed. I think if it were her parents, she would be just more upfront about it. It's like, why wouldn't you just say it's your parents?
Because straight out of college, I don't have.
But you don't have to be able to buy a house
That's
straight
how
out
it
of college.
should be.
And I'm sorry, you're not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you say it, George. Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to be. See, raised in the Amazon era. I didn't get into a house till I was 36 and married. See, in her mind, somewhere or another, her parents have done her a disservice. Somewhere her parents have done her a disservice for her to genuinely believe that she is entitled to a house on graduation. She's got the check mark boxes. And to her, okay, I don't know if she said her rent was paid for, but either way, okay, she's not paying for her college, and now the college is done in somewhat of a, hate to say those liberal arts degrees, but interior design, gonna be honest, it's not exactly a money-making field. It's really not. And there's a lot of people and customer service difficulties and issues and all of that. It can take years and years, and oftentimes it takes something else to back up that interior design degree. In other words, interior design in and of itself can be very difficult to sustain a living on. So she wants to basically check off all the boxes. Oh, and she's going to want them to buy her a car too, because that house is going to need a car. So she's probably going to want that too.
I'm just trying to set myself up in the right way.
Yes, but you're not the one setting yourself up. You're trying to have somebody else prop you up.
Is that not entitlement? I think this is probably the most entitled call we've heard, folks. I'm trying to prop myself up in the right way. No, no, princess, you're doing it the wrong way. You want to be propped up on someone else's back. You want to stand on someone else's back so you can look over the fence versus adjusting your own fence so you can look over it by yourself. You want to do it the fast way. Hey, come over. Let me just stand on your back and peer over. Don't ask me to redesign the fence. She's not going to make a very good interior designer. Like I said, one of my closest friends in the whole world, okay, and my top 2 best friends in the whole entire world, she's an interior designer. The incredible amount of work, the incredible amount of people skills, and here's the kicker for little princess here, the incredible amount of patience you have to have before people will even make a decision on what they want to do, if they even want to do it. Her inability to show patience and time, go through the course of things, she's not going to make a very good interior designer. Because you may get a client that you work with and that then they go, no, I don't want to spend the $20,000 on that. To her, and this is what's scary, to her, this is the right way to do it. It's to ask someone else to do it, which means somewhere along the line, her family, the adults in her life, have done her a disservice.
And what does well for us as adults is when we form and craft our way through life financially. Listen, I'm so happy that somebody
You're going to college debt free.
Right. That's great.
Yes.
But once you graduate,
her tone is just, the caller's tone is just like, well, yes. Well, yeah, right. This is over her head. This is over the caller's head. Completely over her head. It's almost like they're making a shopping list. Now, I asked for whole milk, right? Okay. And I want unsalted butter. Yes. Okay, well, I'm just trying to make sure that the bundt cake's going to come out okay.
Listen, buying a house is not just kind of like a willy-nilly thing. Hey, why don't you buy this house for me? I'll live in it. And then when I'm good and ready, you can sell it to me. That's, I don't think you understand kind of how much you're inserting yourself into that person's life.
And as Jade said, what happens if she can't buy it for the market value that the parents, grandparents, whomever it is, I'm going to assume, my gut hunch, it's either going to be an aunt, uncle, grandparent. It's going to be somebody removed from her immediate, when I think of immediate family, I'm thinking mom, dad, brother, sister. I don't think it's going to be in that. I think it's going to be a family member that's one step removed. Because like I said, she won't say who it is.
And deciding the timeline on their financial investment. Mm-hmm. I get that you don't realize that. But what George and I are trying to get at is you don't have to... We all have this checklist in our mind of, I go to school, I get my degree, I get my big girl job, I get my car, I get my house, I get married, I have my kid. And it's like we're trying to check these things off the list to tell ourselves that that's what makes us successful. And it doesn't have to go that quickly. The fact that you're in school without student loans, that is a major win. The fact that you are going to graduate without student loans, major win. And the fact that you are going to get a job.
She doesn't see it as a win, though. She sees it as it's an expectation. And that's the sad part. The caller, what is this caller's name? Elizabeth doesn't see this as a win. She sees it as an expectation. We see it as a win because we understand the hard work and stuff that has to go into it. We see it as a win because we understand what other people have had to sacrifice so we could get there. Elizabeth, entitled Princess here, doesn't see any of this as a win. She'd be the type of friend to go, well, I expected you to do that. So Jade is talking about, you've been blessed. It's a huge win. Elizabeth's going, I've won nothing. They're supposed to do this. That's the type of person I don't keep as a friend very long.
Job in your field, that's thing one. And then you're going to be able to sustain rent and understand what it just feels like to have that responsibility, because I don't mean any harm, but you haven't had to assume any financial responsibility yet. So this idea that you're just... With what?
I have. I did live by myself for 2 years with no financial stability from anybody else. And then,
oh, tell us about it, honey. 2 years.
And once I decided to go to school, then I was given the opportunity to have my life paid for. But
and to have your life paid for, and you took that opportunity. Someone gave you an inch, and now you want the whole mile. You want the road named after you.
I did rent a place by myself 100% on my own for 2 years before I came to school.
I'm glad you did that. I think that you should do that again.
I think you should do it for the next decade.
You come out now with this is the job I want. I'm in the career field I want. Pick a place in town where you want to live. There is a big part to that. Having the 3 to 6 months saved up and just walking through this and being you, Elizabeth, and standing on your own 2 feet. In no world would I say that it's a good idea to say, who is the family member, by the way?
It's a grandparent.
Bing! What did I say? Oh, snaps for me. I told you it wasn't mom or dad, because I don't see a person go to a mom or dad for this. So she's picking the grandparents, somebody that maybe she's a pet favorite of, and she's going to suck it up for all it's worth. Yeah. I didn't think it was mom or dad. I was like, nah, this isn't mom or dad. I don't know many kids that would go to mom and dad and say, go buy me a house. I just don't. Hope the grandparents don't do it. If they do, they've given her a real disservice. She's already got disservice because she doesn't see the blessings she's already had. She has this princess has no concept of what's already been handed to her. She sees it as an expectation. I have a friend who is, actually not really a friend, an acquaintance, because I don't have friends that are like this. But she would be the same type. She'd be like, well, you're supposed to do this for me. That sucks, doesn't it? Right? You're supposed to do this. And Elizabeth had to pay rent for 2 years. Poor thing.
No way would I say, Grandma, Grandpa, will you buy a house worth X amount of dollars and me be the renter paying full rent? And because here's the thing, I'm just assuming, are you renting at cost, or are they charging you a real rent where they're able to make some money on this investment?
Oh, she would expect to rent it at cost. As a matter of fact, and during the holiday season and when she goes on vacation, she expects to pay no rent at all.
That's something I would have to talk about with the grandparent.
That's a big deal. So for you to even make the assumption, listen, I'll just rent at cost, you won't make any money on the renter, and whatever it appreciates, whenever I'm ready, I'll buy it, because they might be ready. They might want to hold the property longer. Like, what if that's the case? That
they may want to sell the property to someone who can pay more for it than you. They may decide they don't want you to rent it anymore when they realize you're renting at $1,800. They're losing money each month, and they have a renter that'll pay $2,000.
They're like, listen, the market's not great right now. We understand that you want to buy it, but it's not great for us. There's so many factors and volatilities there that have the ability to make, the relationship not the best that it can be.
Remember what Dave Ramsey says about mixing money and family? It's one thing to just give money to somebody, okay? The grandparents gave it to her. And they're not the only grandparents, that paid for college education. So, we're not gonna, criticize that. Lots of grandparents have paid outright for kids' college educations, hopefully not on the Parent Plus loan. But as far as paying for the college education and then expecting them to buy you a house, what would Dave Ramsey say? Not only would he say this is morally wrong and selfish, okay, but we're also talking again, are the grandparents supposed to basically lend her this money? And what happens when the deal goes south? What happens if she doesn't get a interior design job that she expects to get? I don't think she realizes how hard interior design is. I don't think she really knows. It's pretty darn tough, especially with what housing is, because what do interior designers need? They need people buying houses. They need people buying property and stuff. And typically interior design will go for, private houses. Look at the housing market. She's showing her naivety. Seriously. But Dave would say, okay, if you're the grandparents, you're not going to lend her the money. You're going to do what? You're going to give her the money. So it doesn't cause any hard feelings. So now what are they supposed to do? Just buy her house and say, we don't want to cause any hard feelings, so we're just going to get it for you. Unless they are uber ass wealthy, where they can literally buy her a house. And I'm thinking minimum cost $300,000. I'm just thinking good old America, USA. My freaking condo is $200,000, okay? If you wanted to buy 840 square foot. So let's start the house at $300,000 as the low bid. I think what surprises me the most is the incredible casualness of which she says this, which tells you somewhere along the line, she's been led to believe that this is the way it's supposed to go. she's supposed to be entitled to this. Because anybody I know personally would be embarrassed as heck to ask someone to buy them a house. Anybody I know would be like, you're going to go up to your mom, dad, sister, brother, grandparent, aunt, uncle, and you're going to say, would you buy me a house after they've already paid for your college education? Like they couldn't, and I could not even get my lips to form the sentence. She forms it so well with like, yes, well, I know. Yeah, I understand that in her mind, somewhere or another, she has come to believe that this is what she is the heiress to.
Yeah.
How many more years do you have until you graduate?
I'm supposed to graduate within 2 years.
Okay. So you graduate with an interior design degree. You said you wanted to go into real estate, as in be a real estate agent?
No, just I want to own property.
Okay. So you just want to be a homeowner.
But I also want to be able to own other properties.
Like lots
be
of
able to
properties.
Rent out.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to go full monopoly here. All right.
I hope she isn't one of those people who wants to go into a whole bunch of, she wants to leverage a whole bunch of debt to get property. This girl has never really paid a bill. I'm sorry, 24 months of living on your own. 17-year-olds can do that. They're emancipated.
And
Yes.
is the goal to be working full-time in interior design?
Yes.
And so you'd start off working for an interior designer, I imagine, and then work your way up to maybe starting your own interior design company one day?
That is the hope.
What's
Okay.
starting salary? Like when you come out of college, what does an interior designer in your area earn?
It really just depends. I don't plan on staying in the area, but it can start anywhere from $50K a year to maybe 80.
She ain't gonna make nowhere near that at starting. She won't. And 50K is not enough to support a house, I think, in most places. And where the heck does she want them to buy her house? Where does she want them to buy the house? And this would be a financial nightmare of a mess.
Okay, 50 to 80. So let's say 65. So you come out, you're making 65. You've got no debt. Tell me more about
you
your
have
personal
savings?
financial situation.
About my financial situation?
Yeah.
I have a paid off car. I have $2,000 of my own separate money. I've been doing commissions, like little side hustles, and saving that on my own. So I've got $2,000 saved up of my own personal money, and it's working its way up right now.
And what's your rent right now? Do you pay rent?
My rent right now is my grandparent does. It's $2,500 a month.
Well,
so basically, she ain't saving squat. What she just discussed does not tell me she knows how to manage money. She knows how to manage money so long as somebody else is paying all the bills. As long as someone else is taking care of the rent. As long as someone else is taking care of the college education. We can all save money. Hell, we'd all be rich. She, as a matter of fact, I'll be really honest. The fact that she has the nerve to even ask this question tells you she doesn't understand how to save money. She doesn't know how to save it. She doesn't know how to budget for it. She doesn't know how to spend it correctly. She has shown no skills. All she knows is to tell someone else, I want to stand on your back. You prop me up so I don't have to do it. That's not showing that you understand how money works. And she sure as heck doesn't understand how real estate works. So her savings, she hasn't saved squat. Someone else is paying all the bills.
Just said the mortgage is cheaper than rent.
If I was to get a house that was, or this is all very hypothetical, but if there was to be a house that was bought,
then that is assuming that you're paying it at cost, that you're not going to.
That's my worry. Is there's a lot of assumptions here, and one is that renting is just, I might as well get a mortgage. $2,000 in rent, $2,000 in mortgage. It doesn't work like that because there's property taxes, there's insurance, there's maintenance, there's all the surprise repairs, and you have $2,000 to your name.
And you didn't even have to save it. You really didn't. Because you're not paying rent, you're not paying for the education. Actually, I'm going to be fair. Let's put the education aside. Like I said, other grandparents have paid for those kids' education. And other parents have paid for it. Let's just put that aside. Okay? She hasn't shown that she can manage money. At all. I won't say stupid.
I'd be scared out of my mind if I had $2,000 and I was a homeowner.
Well,
And
she's
so-
going to live in the parents' house until she's ready. She's going to ask the grandparents
I
to
would
buy.
work your tail off, get a down payment, and work on just continuing to stack up cash. And when you're ready to be a homeowner, you'll be a homeowner. But
And you may not be a homeowner until your 30s at the rate a property is going at. And you may have to have a roommate, God forbid.
I would not try to leapfrog this and shortcut your way there and ruin relationships over it.
Oh, this is the type of gal, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. This is the type of gal who would be willing to ruin a relationship over it. She'd be willing to ruin a relationship over it because it would benefit her. She is a me first person. Wonder what she's going to be like as a wife. Men, be careful. Be careful. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I'd like to thank you for joining me this Monday evening for a bedtime chit-chat story time. I hope you will consider subscribing. You guys have a great Monday night. Goodbye.